Okay guys, I did the previous video with Britons as the Britons specific build order for archers. If archers isn't really your cup of tea and you would rather be a cavalry civ, I'm going to do this one, which is just going to be, I'm not going to tab in and out of a build order. I'm just going to kind of show you how you do scouts into knights. I'm not even going to go super late into Castle Age. I'm just going to kind of show you the opening because then you basically adapt. The best civs for this are going to be Franks is probably at the top to go scouts into knights. Sometimes you kind of are in a situation where paladins are not, like as a late game unit, are actually not the best option and you want something a little bit more heavy, in which case Khmer is basically the top pick with battle elephants. As much as war elephants are amazing from Persians, like rarely do you get into them and utilize them. So if you're Persians, you're usually going paladins instead of war elephants, unfortunately, because elephants are amazing. So I'm going to do this with Franks. They're basically one of the strongest economic civs for what they do. The forgers working faster and the free farm upgrades together is what makes their eco bonus strong. The castle's costing minus 25% is also nice, but that's not really setting up your economy to be ahead of other people in Castle Age, if that makes sense. Like stone is not really your economy. Stone is kind of a separate concept. So farm upgrades free is fantastic, and forgers working faster is great. I'm going to just put this on hard, and we'll just do this real quick. I am again going to do it with pauses. Alright, first thing, always select town center, and then queue up villagers. My hotkey is side mouse button, AAA. Building 2 houses, just pretty much quickly placed, and then get your sheep. Exactly the same as the archer build. We're getting 6 on sheep first. And we're trying to find our boars, and just boars and herdables. I'll position a sheep in near this so that I can shift click once I have 6. This is a weird wood line, isn't it? That is quite bizarre. Alright, we're at 5. So I just press 1-1 since I've numbered him 1 to go to him, and then I have the side button to go to my town center, and I just go back and forth. Alright, so now that I have 6, we want to go to wood. This wood line, from a looking at my map perspective, that is so weird. I think that's like 1 wood line, 2 wood lines that are just next to each other, but hopefully I have more over here. It looks like I do. So this is a relatively back wood line. That's usually where you're wanting to go first if you've scouted it. So we're going to send our villager there. And the difference, main initial difference between a standard scout versus a standard archer build is that you actually are getting 3 on wood instead of 4 on wood initially. Now, with that Britons one, we did put 3 on wood and then we added a 4th later. So this might seem like it's the exact same thing, but we're not going to add that. Okay. Good. They all killed 1 sheep. Hate it when they kill multiple. So, we have our 3 on wood. Now we're going to try and get boars. There's one right there, so I'll grab that. We're going to do the exact same thing as before. So there's a boar here. That one's actually pretty far out, whereas that one is actually kind of right where 2 houses would make a nice wall. These golds are kind of goners. We have this back one, which is beautiful, but we're going to have to wall those out and put castle defense on that later. So actually I want that to be my second boar. I'm going to put my rally point here and wall there with the other 2. This should be my last sheep. So now rally point is up there for that one building 2 houses. And this is the same thing as we did the last time, except we're going at 3 people on wood instead of 4. So she's coming in. She's going to build 2 houses and lure. I'm going to start on this side. Alright, shoot. Garrison. Alright, so now we have 8. Something to note, if you have 2 things dead at the same time, and you don't just have so many villagers that like you have to split them up, it is more efficient to finish one and then send them all to the second in terms of the decay, the rot on the food, than it is to evenly do them. Spirit of the Law tested this, and as weird as it sounds, you basically want to power down one thing and then go to the next one. So we have 8. Now that we have 8 on the boar, and then the one that's going to bring in that one to make it 9, again, we are going to berries for 4 villagers. The only difference is we only have 3 on wood instead of 4 right now. The reason for only 3 on wood, if you think about it, we aren't going to be building archers, which cost wood. Instead, we're going to be building scouts, which cost food. So we don't really need wood as early or as high. Once again, we have to force drop to get that done. What I always do with these is after 2 villagers are done, I shift click the further side of the berries and then put the rally point there. That way all 4 of them are in kind of like an efficient position without me having to go back and do more microing later, because my actions per minute is actually not that great. Alright, we're going to kill this boar. And it's not going to be dead in a great spot, but whatever. So again, we're going to get this boar first, and then come get this one. And this one's going to rot a little bit, like 32, 31, 30. So, not the most efficient ever, but it's fine. So, now we have the 4 on berries. I'm going to put a 10th on this boar. And I'm going to position my sheep. All the while, you're supposed to be scouting. I have not been, because I've been just talking about this. A pro would be constantly going back and forth, back and forth. And we have 10 here, 4 here. Now the rest are on wood. We're at 17 villagers. We're actually putting 3 more villagers out, and we're clicking up at 20 pop. So 3 more villagers, then loom. 1, 2, 3, loom. Right? So we're going to put 2 more over here, so we have 5. And then on this this wood line, we're going to put another lumber camp. And after we click up, we'll move villagers off of our herdables there, but not until we've clicked up. So for now, sending that there. Let's just put this guy in auto scout so that he's doing something while I talk about villager allocation. So they're going to need to go to that tree next. He's going to need to go to that tree next. Let's just put the rally point there. Alright, right now I'm going to start shift clicking these 5 and 5 to those sheep. Guess they're almost done. Alright, so now I'm going to come and get this wood line. So ostrich, deer, zebra, whatever, you don't have to get them with this build order, but it generally makes it smoother. So what I could do is push these in with my scout, but I'm not going to show you that right now. Alright, we have our food, our 500 food, so we can just queue up feudalage behind this. Shift click, shift click. So what we're going to do is get rid of... Actually, I'm going to shift click over here because we're taking people off. So I'm going to take 4 of these off. Let's put 2 there if they'll fit, another one there, another one there. This way we only have 1 herdable that's rotting. So now we're on our way up. We're going to want to have a barracks so that we can build a stable immediately. So I usually pull people off berries. It's maybe not the best thing. Actually, I'm going to build this over here. I'll just build it up there. Yeah, that's far. I don't want to walk. Well, okay, fine. They're right there. So indecisive right now. It's fine. So, normally I pull people off berries because it's one of the slowest ways that you collect food. And I'm actually going to replace them. But with the berry bonus from Frank's, you're actually getting it very, very quickly. So these 2, we're almost to feudal age, they're also going to build together a stable ASAP. These villagers will be farmers once we get to feudal age. So now that we're in feudal age, we want to make sure we get our double bit axe like normal. We're going to build a stable and immediately send out or build scouts. Villagers are now farmers as soon as we have wood. So we're not taking gold because scouts don't cost gold. We do want to take gold eventually because we need to go up, and knights cost gold, and of course we want knights in Castle Age. But first we're going to add a whole bunch of farms and then add gold miners later. Okay, so we still have, why do we have 11 on, oh that's right, the straggler tree, okay. So basically right here, every time we get 60 food, or 60 wood rather, we are adding a farm. Okay, scouts need to go out now. So I'm not going to attack in this one to show you exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Ideally, you would be attacking. You basically build roughly 8 scouts, you're attacking, and then going up to Castle Age. Now, you're not waiting till 8 before you attack. You probably wait until you have like 2 out or 3. Join them up with this guy, which I'm not going to do because he's the only one that has auto scout. So I'm going to let him just explore the map for me. But I would get like 3 or 4 scouts and go actually start trying to kill villagers on the wood line. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to build like the 8 that is roughly meta. And then I'm going to go up to Castle Age. If I can execute that quickly. So right now I'm not building over these straggler trees. I'm trying to preserve those. So I'm building these farms in the less efficient locations. We got 5 there. You kind of want to time when you go to gold. I actually did build over that one because I have enough wood and whatever. When, or such that you have 800 food and 200 gold and you're ready to click up right around minute 18. So you can sometimes spend too long building farms. If I had the build order up, I'd probably be able to tell you exactly what that is. But you basically want 18 farms. So if you go a little bit before you get 18 farms and then finish with the farms, that's probably good. We are now at 10, and then these will be 15, so like 15, 16, 17, 18. So we're probably going to build like 1 more farm, right? And then we're going to go to gold. We'll just have him go there. We're going to send 5 to gold. And then after we send the 5 to gold, what we're going to do is get wheelbarrow. And then we'll add farms after that to 18 and then go up. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm actually going to pull 1 off of Barry's 5. So we got 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we'll want 3 more villagers after wheelbarrow. Get farms, and we should be in decent shape. Alright, we got 4 of these. We're going to keep building scouts. Alright, so these guys now, just add farms. That's 15. These guys are not on the most efficient tiles. Okay, so we got the 5. Alright, 5 is fine for now. We're actually going to add this person as a farm. Wheelbarrow, 2 more. Okay, so we're getting wheelbarrow at roughly 15 minutes. Okay, I've heard for build orders, for archer build orders, get it around 17, something like that on average. So getting it a little bit earlier. We have 16 farms. That's what's going to take most advantage of it. The goal is to get this, build 2 more villagers, and click up. So what we're going to need is a blacksmith as our second feudal age building. Let's go ahead and get that down. Scouts, we have built 7 and we have 1, so that's good. We have 8 total scouts fielded. Can probably refresh these camps soon-ish. You there, you there. Skip a line. We don't need the 11 on wood that I talked about in the archer build order as much because we're not building archers. So 10 is actually completely sufficient to do that. Okay, good, we're walled. Alright, so we're at 16. We might have to build one or two more villagers, and that's fine. I want to click up before minute 18, or right on minute 18 is my goal. So let's queue up one more. We're right here. Basically, we actually could do 2 more villagers and still hit that, but we're so close on food. I'm just going to do 1 more and actually, like, force drop these guys. Bail out, click up. So we're clicking up, bam, 17, 20 something. So now, what we want to do is add another stable. Okay, we're good on population. I'm just going to delete this. No, that's probably not the most efficient. So we can have 2 stables. This guy can go back to Auto Explorer. Thank you very much. On the way up, what you're going to want is this armor, the first armor, because in a team game, the second you get to Castle Age, you are trying to accomplish building 2 more town centers, getting the second upgrade for armor, which makes it so that you have +2/+2, meaning that your knights will have the base 2 pierce armor that they have, and then another 2, so they have 4 pierce armor and can tank archers way better. Oh, there's an idle guy here. Let's send him to gold. So that's the other thing. Okay, now we're refreshing camps and everything. We only have 35 villagers. I'm actually going to take some of these off food and send them over here to gold so that we have more on gold, because we're going knights. Oh, sorry, I completely forgot. We also want gold mining while we're on the way up. Some people might tell you you should not click up this fast. I don't think it matters that much. At a pro level, you might have a stronger economy, but also at a pro level, you can take them off guard if you get up faster and have knights out sooner. Generally speaking, I think the sooner the better. What we're going to do is immediately start doing 2 stable knights. So 1, 2. We want this. What does that put us at? Almost out of gold. We have 10 on gold. We're going to be adding to gold. But we want 18 farmers. These 10 on wood, that's fine. We want to add town centers and everything, and right now we can't really add like 2 town centers fully. So our first villagers are going to go to replenish these farms. Then we're going to put a couple on wood and then gold so that we can maintain knight production. So you're just kind of trying to even everything out, right? So once again, this tutorial is almost over because this part isn't that, like, you know, different than the other thing. You're just trying to maintain production and build town centers. When we talked about placing town centers, anywhere you can get a town center on a gold and wood line is great. So, like, that's going to be an ideal spot for one. We actually do have enough wood for another one, but these farms are probably going to be dying soon. So I'm going to wait right now to add a 3rd town center and just kind of focus on making sure that my eco's good. Oh, I completely forgot to get bow saw as well. So we got knights coming out of that. We got villagers coming out here. We want to make sure that we get our 18 farmers back in business. We're floating a little bit of gold, but also not really floating gold because we're going to use it all on these knights. So once these farms predominantly get reseeded, I'll see where wood's at, and I will add a 3rd town center. Always want to keep making knights. So right now you can go and pressure, right? Like, this is a decent army. You would have already been pressuring, trying to kill villagers everywhere you can. I'm at the point where I can't do as much. Okay, so now these farms are going to start getting reseeded. Good thing is, as Franks, we get the heavy plow upgrade free the second we get to castle. All of them are upgrades are free, but now that we have heavy plow, we didn't have to spend the resources on it. We got it instantly. When these get reseeded, they're going to be great. Okay, they have a lot of spears, but they realize that that's not a good fight for them. I'm going to go ahead and get forging. So with blacksmith upgrades, if you're fighting archers, you want armor. If you're fighting spears or pikes, you want damage. The reason being is with archers, you're trying to tank their archer fire until you get in close and can kill them because your damage is sufficient. They're not that well protected. Whereas a spearman or a pike gets so much bonus damage against you that you adding armor doesn't really change the number of swings it takes them to kill you, whereas you adding damage increases how fast you kill them. It decreases the number of attacks it takes you to kill them if you're like get two knights ganging up on a pikeman, for example. So that's the rule of thumb. Generally speaking, in a team game, you're not going to see pikemen or spearmen that much. Like you'll see it maybe in defense around their base, but there's not anybody that's going to be going like super hard into pikes. Usually the cavalry people are going knights, the archer people are going crossbows. If people are stupid enough to build skirms and pikes, guess what? Knights completely kill the skirms, and crossbows will kill the pikes very, very effectively. Like they're just way more powerful to get gold units than non-gold units. Okay, so right now, like eco balance, you see I have 300 wood and no food, and I'm trying to build villagers from 2 town centers and knights from 2 things here. Now is where I pull people off wood. Like these 4 should just immediately be building farms. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, basically. So that's how you rebalance your economy. When you don't have one, you kind of just like shifting everything around to do that. So these spears are okay, but they're not like pikes. So my knights as a Castle Age unit are still going to get them. Alright. In terms of engaging, and I think this is the last thing I'm going to say, because at this point you're basically just adding a 3rd town center, maintaining knight production, trying to be where you need to be. If you're with an ally, you're not the one to do damage. You're tanking archer fire. So if your ally has like a ball of crossbows, you're basically running in front of them, running interference, hoping to draw their archer's fire while your archer guy focuses down stuff. You become the meat shield, not really the damage dealer. In a 1v1, obviously you're going knights, you're trying to kill things. There are 3 ways to engage. There's this patrol button, which is optimal for melee, where you press, for me it's Q, and then you select the general area. Now all of these guys are basically then like looking for targets to kill, and they're going to engage reasonably efficiently. The other way, so now they're like going and attacking the front thing. The other way is you click on 1 unit. Now DE might be a little bit better, but right now, okay, so see, DE's fixed this. This guy didn't even go there. He started attacking this guy. So I guess for you guys, you can just click on something in DE now, and that's decent. In Voobly and HD, they would all focus that 1 unit that you clicked on until it was dead before they found new targets. So this might be a little bit less relevant at this point because it looks like they're doing pretty good at finding targets. The other thing that I did before I understood how to do patrol is I would just run right up to something. Like let's say their army was right here. I'd run here and I'd just press stop. Oops. Yeah, stop. Unfortunately, line formation and stop is the same key. So whatever. I would press S because that would stop them. And they'd stop in their tracks for half a second, but then they'd efficiently find targets. I am literally building nothing. Okay. I don't know what else to really tell you. This one is pretty straightforward and easy. Obviously, if you delayed going up to Castle Age a little bit more, you wouldn't have knights out as fast, which I think it's better to get the knights out faster, but your economy would be more solid with more villagers, and you could have added a 3rd town center immediately. So there's always trade-offs there. In a pro player's hands, if you're getting up to Castle Age that quick, then you're going to be able to do so much damage with these knights. You'll just kind of have to get a feel for who you're playing against and what's going on. But generally I like faster better than less fast. Okay, so that's all that was. Let's resign, let this guy win, and just double check my uptime. Let's see, statistics. So I got to Castle Age at 20 minutes flat, basically. That's pretty solid for a non-fast castle build, where I actually did build scouts. Not many civilizations are going to pull that off to the same degree that Franks can, which is why like one of the reasons Franks are so good is not only do they get like the eco bonus, like you have to think of it as a double-edged sword. Like getting free upgrades, not only is it an eco bonus where they don't have to spend those resources, but it's an eco bonus where it's activated immediately. So they're saving resources there. And then like bloodlines, they don't have to do bloodlines, instead they get the 20%. The 20%, let's see here, return to map. Let's do this. So this, why do I always click that? I don't know what's wrong with me. This 20% HP starting in Feudal Age is actually an eco bonus in some way, because they don't have to research bloodlines. 150 food, 100 gold. You're fighting with your scouts. Some people might be like, okay, the scout fights are important. I need this in Feudal Age. And then they have to spend that, which means that's going to delay their castle, because that's 100 in gold and 150 food. Like, that's pretty expensive. But if you're not doing that and you're just going up, great. When you're on your way up to Castle Age, you still want to get this technology, which means you still have less that you're, using to fight with, or like your scouts aren't as good when they're fighting, and I mean it's just resources you use. So the fact that you can get to Castle Age at 20 minutes flat as smoothly as Franks can, like that is what makes them basically the best cavalry civ for that role. Now, it's funny that they call them a cavalry civ, and you look at their stable, and literally all they have going for them is paladin. Like, they don't get hussar, they don't get camels at all, they don't get battle elephants, they don't get lancers. They get one type of cavalry all the way upgraded, but they're a cavalry civilization. Never made sense to me, really, because I feel like their infantry is actually also very good, but whatever. Their paladins are basically the second best in the game. Well, okay. If you're picking a cavalry civ, there's 4 cavalry civs for paladins. Franks, paladins are going to have extra hit points. Okay, they have 160 base. Other civilizations, you add the 20, they get 180. With the 20%, obviously 20% of 160 is higher than adding 20 to 160. So it's like 214 or something like that. So they have way more hit points. They're probably the best paladins in the game in terms of versatility. The Lithuanians have the most deadly paladins. If you get these relics, each garrison relic gives +1 attack to knights and latus. That means that in a 1v1, yes, these paladins are going to beat other paladins if you have the extra relics. But, and like probably even a Frankish paladin, but damage doesn't help you tank archers better. Usually you're fighting a mixed army. You're not just doing melee on melee. So in that respect, Frankish paladins are still the best. The other one is Teutons. Barracks and stable units have +1 armor castle, +1 armor Imperial Age. This is only melee armor, so that's great. Again, these paladins will beat other paladins, and probably will beat Frankish paladins. Problem is, they don't get husbandry, so they're slow AF. Can't catch anything. And that's only melee. Again, archers still pretty good against them. Now, they're paladins, so they have base 3 pierce armor, 7 when they're fully upgraded. Like, yes, they're complete tanks. And these are very good paladins for in a fight, but your mobility is limited. Usually in a team game, if you're the cavalry person, you're in the middle, the pocket position, and you're trying to intercept wherever the fight is for your 2 flank people, which means you need to move fast. Teutons aren't going to be able to move fast, so that's a severe limitation there. The last one, honestly, is just Huns. There's nothing special about Huns, it's just Huns are Huns. It's like, they're Huns. They're okay. Like, they're Huns. I mean, they don't have to build houses. And they get fully upgraded paladins. They get almost fully upgraded cav archers that are cheaper. Like, yeah. So, if you're going, I don't want to build houses, Huns are Huns. Their paladins are fully upgraded and solid. Very good civ to go. Archers, actually there's a build that I have from Dogao where you open scouts, then you add like a few crossbows, and then you transition into cav archers. And until they fix cav archers, it's probably never worth doing right now. But yeah, Huns are very versatile. I'm trying to think of other good options. Cumans might be okay. Cumans are awkward. I would not recommend them for a beginner. They're kind of a boomy civ, but they have very, very awkward parts that's a little bit more of an advanced person to handle. Um, then there's civs like Chinese, which are the most. This is probably the hardest civilization and one of the most powerful civilizations in the game because you have all the options. You can literally go knights, and your knights are fully upgraded. Get to cavalier, that's still solid, fully upgraded. You have camels, so if the other person's going knights in Imperial Age, you can get heavy camel and counter them. Fully upgraded infantry line for champions and halberdiers. No bonuses, but fully upgraded. Fully upgraded arbalests. And then, of course, Chukonu, which are just amazing. And they get siege ram. Chinese are ridiculous. Like, the only thing that is their weakness, honestly, and I hate it, I never play monks anyway, is that they don't get redemption. So you can't convert siege at range. You can't convert siege at all, but yeah. So Chinese, very difficult to do the start. I might do a video on that at some point, but that's more of an advanced thing, and there are better videos for that than what I could do. So this is me trying to lower the like details to noobs because pros do build orders and they don't tell you some of the simple stuff because they're just like everybody knows that. It's like no, not everybody knows that. Um, but yeah, let me know if this is helpful and any constructive criticism if there's something I could do better that I could explain better or whatever. I might do some more of these with other civilizations, like Vikings. You know, who knows? All right, cheers. That's all for now.